It's time now for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Central Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Sears Hometown Store, locally owned and operated right here in Mountain Home.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas, Southern Missouri. It is Wednesday, July 22, 2020 at 7 a.m. Welcome Down on the Corner program.
It's actually a beautiful morning this morning.
Not bad. Yeah, a little bit of cloud cover, rain in the area.
Well, I didn't see any rain, but
in the area.
I wasn't drinking as much air on the way here.
Get you a sip of that air out there.
The humidity is what has been terrible, and you can just take a straw and drink the air. It's just not right.
Normally by July we get 45 to 55% humidity. It's still running in the 70s with a high dew point, but wow,
and the heat's to be expected,
normal.
But when you add the heat and humidity, it's just
sticky.
So much.
Yeah, real sticky. Anyway, good morning. Welcome Down on the Corner program. Dale Hoffman, your host. Scooter Callis is over here in the other box.
Boop, boop.
How's your box? Can you get out?
See if I can touch it.
Down on the Corner is brought to you by your hometown Sears store at 1029 Highway 62 East for the very best in home appliances, tools, yard care equipment. What am I missing? Home entertainment, you name it, they've got it.
They even got exercise machines. They got things you wouldn't even think of. But
really?
They carry anything from basically inside the home to outside the home. Whatever equipment you're looking for, they carry it. They can maintain it. They can work on it. They work on pretty much everything. You talk about, whether it be appliances or mowers, I don't care what brand it is. They can work on it.
Yeah, they have Husqvarna.
Yeah, they now sell Husqvarna, which
you're
is
a
an
big fan
amazing
of
line.
Husqvarna?
I'm a big fan of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Husqvarna to me is a good line, and I'm a big fan of it.
Your hometown Sears store, 1029 Highway 62 East. It's up on the hill behind Wendy's. Same parking lot as Orscheln's, out in front of Physical Therapy Connection. Want to invite folks from other counties to come in and shop at your hometown Sears store. Like I say, name brand appliances for the home, Craftsman tools, and other great things. Home owned and operated. This is your hometown Sears store. Yes, we have the Sears brand on the store and on everything in the store, but it's still your hometown Sears store. They call the shots, You shop here, money stays here, the money's invested here. We've got local employees. Your hometown Sears store, the very best. Home appliances, home entertainment tools, yard care equipment, and anything else you can think of. Want to invite folks from other counties. Come on down and shop at Sears. You will not be disappointed in what you find at your local hometown Sears store. Jared he kind of bends over backwards and a half, to help
He
folks.
does. If you ever meet him, he is just a down-to-earth, really good guy. It's a lot of fun just going there and talk to him, hang out, see what they got.
Really? Yeah. Your hometown Sears store, 425-3191 at 1029 Highway 62 East, up on the hill behind Wendy's, your hometown Sears store. I'm enjoying Brewed Awakening coffee. You can do the same thing. 3 locations to serve you. You've got Baxter Regional Lobby. You've got Bomber Boulevard, 62 East Plaza, out by Anytime Fitness. The best coffee in town. I talked to Mike a couple weeks ago. He says, yeah, we're real coffee.
Real coffee.
Real coffee. So whether you want real coffee in your cup or you want a mocha, a latte, a frappuccino, or whatever else they have out there, French vanilla and pumpkin spice, you can still get that. Check them out, Brewed Awakening Coffee. 3 locations to serve you. 2, of course, are drive-through. Bomber Boulevard and 62 East Plaza area is a drive-through, so be sure to stop by and visit the best coffee in town. Mike and his staff do a great job at all 3 locations, and they are ready to serve you the very best coffee in town. Brewed Awakening. If you're not drinking Brewed Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. The very best coffee in town. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes. And when they say with all our respect, it's not just a tagline that we put on the graphics on the screen for you to look at. This is how they do business on a daily basis. Roller Funeral Homes. Went through it in 2018. This is what I've got. This is what I know. This is my mother's passed. It was handled. Handled very well. Very pleased with its pre-planning and the service of a passing of a loved one, unexpected passing, whatever it may be, emergency situation. Let Roller handle it. 29 Roller Funeral Homes in the state. 1 in Memphis, Tennessee, right here in Mountain Home. Talk to Brad, Bruce, Charlotte, Chris. Anyone there can help you, and they will handle it very, very well. They're caring, loving, understanding. They know what you're going through, and they know how to get you through a very rough part of your life. Roller Funeral Homes. They bring you the morning prayer each and every day, so let's pause now for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, at the age of 62, you would think I've seen it all. The assassination of a president, man landing on the moon, Watergate, the Arab oil embargo, and now riots and destruction in our cities. But to me, the shocker is crimes committed involving children. Lord, these horrific, sickening crimes, including unbelievable sexual connotations. And Lord, no doubt we have a very sick society in more ways than one. Lord, it's hard to comprehend that any adult could abuse and torture a child. And in my opinion, we need Jesus Christ to heal this sick and unbelievable situation. Lord, I pray you protect our children and help us to be aware of how to stop this, heal our people, heal our nation, stop the virus, is my prayer today. Amen. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bring the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes.
And
Wait,
now,
we forgot to warn our guest of this.
dun, 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 the weather. See, it wasn't that bad. See?
3 days in a row.
I'm getting better, yeah.
We've been at this almost 3 years, and you just say now you're getting better.
Yesterday we took a pause so I could tap my own back. I won't think I was there today, so I'll hold off on that.
Morning weather brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793. RetireToArkansas.net. Take a peek at the White River. Hey. Wow.
Little dark this morning, though.
Yeah, probably a little bit of cloud cover out to the west. The camera's facing east-northeast, I think. But you're looking at the White River. The camera's in Marion County, Arkansas, looking into Baxter County and Cotter, Arkansas. The 62-412 bridge to the left side of the screen. The clearing on the extreme right side is the Contractors Trust area. The clearing in the middle of the screen would be the baseball field, Railroad Museum, a little picnic area down by the... Now
you can see the baseball field pretty good right now.
Yeah. You can go to RetireToArkansas.net, pull up the live webcam all throughout the day, and what's fun is watch the weather patterns come through and see the storms and the lightning and stuff like that. But this is brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793, RetireToArkansas.net. While you're there, check out all the listings they have through Century 21 Lemac Real Estate and the other MLS numbers. If you have another publication from throughout the Twin Lakes area and it's got an MLS number, you can enter it on the screen and you can see that property and who has it listed. And you can call the Z-Team because they can help you with any multiple listing service number. And of course, the multiple listing service in this area is running low. A lot of homes have sold. I think they're at 4.9 million last week, and so they're really moving some real estate.
And there's overall, there's not a lot on the market. I mean, there's still some homes out there, but it's a seller's market. If you want to sell your home, call the Z-Team and be ready to sell.
You're going to be ready to sell.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think at noon they had actually put a sign and posted their home, and by 4 p.m. they had 2 offers. And yeah, it's crazy.
I tell you, the Z-Team for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793, RetireToArkansas.net. Linda's a professional stager, so when you list your home with the Z-Team, she sets the home with your permission for that certain eye appeal that gets the home sold. They don't get all the awards for nothing. They have the highest award through Century 21. It's unbelievable. So, Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793, RetireToArkansas.net. They bring you the morning weather each and every day. It's not too bad right now, other than the humidity just being through the roof. But right now we're at 73 in Mountain Home, 71 at Harrison, 78 at Batesville, 74 at Salem. Calico at 73, Flippin at 74, Marshall at 73, West Plains at 74, and then St. Louis is 72, 74 at Poplar Bluff, 72 at Springfield. And look at this, Watford City, North Dakota, in contrast, from here to 1,500 miles north, 62 degrees this morning.
There you go.
And we've seen it 55 here and minus 40 up there, you know. 62, man, they're in the swimming pools today. Wow. Refresh again. It's like the 8th time today on this one. On the national scene, here's what we have. Starting the west part of the country, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Arizona getting some light showers right now. And then we have some heavier showers in the middle part of the country up in the UP of Michigan. The line of showers stretch from Toronto, Ontario, all the way back to south of St. Louis through Indianapolis, Indiana. And other than that, not too much going on. South Dakota and parts of Nebraska getting some heavier showers right now. So let's zoom in on Arkansas and see who's getting wet and who's not. It's kind of following I-30 from Texarkana to Little Rock, and then another shower on I-40 at Conway, and then it kind of trails all the way up into the Batesville area, Highway 167, 67. And
do you got that in motion?
Oh, I don't, do I? There we go. Kind of moving northeast like they always do. We got showers around the Memphis area on I-55 at I-40. So your interstates that are affected be I-30 and I-40, either direction of Little Rock right now. I-49 not affected. 62, 412 east and west of Mountain Home not affected. Excuse me, Interstate 55 and 555 coming out of Memphis will be, before too long, showers on 167 at Batesville and a little bit on Highway 67 at Newport. But north of Newport, not much going on. State of Missouri, we have showers from Branson to the northeast there, a little bit north of West Plains. Some shower activity on I-44 around Lebanon, it looks like, just south of Lebanon. That'd be mainly on Highway 63 at between West Plains and Rolla right there. Pretty heavy showers just south of Rolla right there. And then we have some moving south of St. Louis on I-64 around Mount Vernon, Illinois, from East St. Louis, Illinois, east on 64. A little bit on I-70, south of I-70 going into Terre Haute, Indiana. Other than that, not much going on. We should get a little bit, I hope, today. Anyway, heat advisory for the eastern part of the country from South Carolina all the way up into Pennsylvania. And red flag warnings in Nevada, Utah, Idaho, places like that. In the desert where it's supposed to be hot. For today, 50% chance of showers today, high of 89. Low of 70 tonight, 88 for Thursday with a 60% chance of showers. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, not much chance of showers, just to pop up. Some 92 degrees on the average. It's not too bad there. Checking the highways in Arkansas, no accidents. Traffic's moving good there in Arkansas. Missouri Department of Transportation, we do have the Lick Creek Bridge being replaced on Highway J, which is 201 north out of Mountain Home. So if you're visiting the Twin Lakes area, you're in Mountain Home, need to go to Missouri, take Highway 5 north to go up towards Springfield, or you need to go to West Plains area, take 101 to Highway 160, and avoid the detours up on Highway 201 and Highway J. Pollen index today is getting a little bit higher. It was 4.2 yesterday. We're 5.1 today. Grasses, plankton, chinnopods are the culprit. 5.6 tomorrow.
Those darn chinnopods
Those
get
little
you every
chinnopods,
time.
those little rascals. Bull Shoals Lake at 688.28. It's 29.28 feet above a full pool of 659. Norfolk Lake at 572.55. It's 20.5 feet above a full pool of 552. Worldwide coronavirus, 15 million cases total. Right now active, 5.3 million, with 5.3 million. 99% are mild condition, with 1% at 63,000 in a serious or critical situation. We've come up a little bit in Arkansas. In Arkansas, I do the 6-county area: Baxter, Marion, Searcy, Stone, Izard, and Fulton. Your active total for 6 counties is 55. We've had 169 positives with 112 recovered. That drops us to a 66% recovery rate.
Is that updated?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you showing? Did it re-update? Let me refresh it again.
I'm showing that we're a darker color.
Well, let me refresh it, because it's now 7:12, and they may have redone it at 7 a.m., and I did it about 6:45, so let's double check it.
Just curious.
No, we'll look. 7 years ago, I rebooted this thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a little while.
Takes a little while to get that in. This is from the Arkansas Department of Health.
Huh.
And I am showing, let me check Baxter again.
It's not the same map I got from the Arkansas Department of Health on the same page.
46, 12, and 34. We've had 2,855 negatives in the state, 34,655 total cases active. We're at 6,998. Recoveries 27,283, with 374 passing away. Crude oil prices today are down a little bit at 41.28. The Dow Jones Industrial closed up yesterday at 5:05 p.m. The last total was 26,840.40. It was up 159.53 at the closing of the bell yesterday at 5:05. I think we got caught up. You've got that PSA right there?
Yeah, JPNO Prosthetics and Orthotic.
Spit it out. Come on.
Prosthetic and Orthotic Labs.
Okay, take 2.
Is doing their back-to-school bash. I know with the coronavirus and everything going on, a lot of kids haven't been able to get in there and see them. They are doing their back-to-school bash right now. Today, they are in West Plains. Tomorrow, they will be in Mountain Home, and on the 24th in Harrison. And all kids get a free consult, whether you're needing shoes, inserts, braces, whatever you need. They will get you taken care of. Their number is 870-421-2069.
Morning updates, the weather, community calendar brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zador for all your real estate needs, 870-405-0793. Coming up, we've got more of a serious Serious discussion coming up with David Ethredge, and I'm going to have his guest is a surprise, so you got to keep tuned in to find out who's on next. So be right back.
Did you know when you shop at Sears Hometown Stores, you are supporting your local community? That's right. Your local Sears Hometown Store is locally owned and operated by one of your neighbors. Their store offers the best of what Sears has to offer with the top brands and appliances, tools, and lawn and garden. They also offer great financing options that work no matter what you need. Remember to stop by your local Sears Hometown Store today and support a local member of your community.
Driftwood Lanes. Fun happens here.
Hi, it's Bob Zadora of the Z-Team at Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. As you know, we are all facing some unusual times. Be calm. Be smart. The business world of real estate will continue. We may have some delays and some changes that are out of our control, but life will go on, and this too will pass. Give thanks for this wonderful country that we live in. Give thanks for the neighbors that we share. If there's anything we can do to give you a hand, give us a call. 870-405-0793. And check out our website, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home. (7:18). I want to introduce David Ethredge, prosecuting attorney. Was it Judicial District 14? 14. And I'm going to let you introduce your guest today.
This is Michelle Steiner. Michelle is the executive director of Grandma's House, which is a child advocacy center that's based in our part of Arkansas. I'll let Michelle tell you what she does, but Michelle is my friend. Michelle does a work with children and victims of sexual crimes and some other things that's phenomenal. And she is a vital part of what we're able to do to prosecute people. But more important, I tell people all the time, we prosecute folks, that's easy some days. But at the end of the day, they're still victims, and those victims have wounds that we can't always address, and Michelle and her wonderful staff do a great job with that. And so I'll let you talk to Michelle.
Welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
It's kind of a tough job.
It is a tough job, and we're very honored to be able to do it, humbled and blessed to be able to do it.
So let's start with base one here, Grandma's House. This is a child advocacy center. What do you do? What's the basis?
We provide, it's essentially a holistic approach and a community response to dealing with a child abuse allegation. what we provide is specialized services in a child-friendly environment to child abuse victims. Including in the services we provide, we do child-friendly forensic interviews. That's non-leading, fact-finding interviews that is focused on being least traumatizing on children. We also provide advocacy services and supportive services to help create a safety net around that child and their family, to help fill any gaps that may exist either before the allegation occurred or because of the allegation that has occurred. We also provide forensic sexual abuse medical examinations done by professionals who specialize in that type of exam. We also have specially trained counselors who help provide those special counseling services to children and their families to help them through that process. Through this entire process, we work with all of the different agencies that are involved in a child abuse case, including local law enforcement, Arkansas State Police Crimes Against Children Division, medical and mental health folks, Department of Children and Family Services, and the Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
David, what prompts this type of criminal activity? I've heard some of this stuff, and I wouldn't treat my dog this bad, let alone another human. I mean, I want to say, really? Are you kidding me?
We say, really, are you kidding me, a lot. Unfortunately, there's just evil people in the world. And there's some people who have true mental illness, which is the trigger for some of these things. But there's just some evil people who don't have the boundaries that we would think in normal society. I think that, unfortunately, I'll talk about our age, but there was a generation where this was not as prevalent. Do I think it existed? Absolutely. I think one of the great things we have seen happen is because of people like Michelle through Grandma's house, we're able to identify those individuals, we're able to find those victims, and we're able to prosecute those people and hopefully get them away. But to your question, Dale, I think there's just evil people out there, and we try to make people be normal, and they're not going to be normal, and that's why we have to have some safeguards and safety nets, and we have to have some punishment for those type of folks.
I think let me unmute my mic. I think a lot of people in this area look at us as we're a small town, in the middle of nowhere, and we've got this bubble around us, and it doesn't happen around here. You don't hear it all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. I mean, for the things I'm involved in, it is happening right in your back door. It is happening around us. We're not in a bubble that's protected by any means.
But when I grew up in St. Clair County, Illinois in the 60s and early 70s, we were all over 3 neighborhoods. We didn't worry about anything. It seemed like we knew everybody, and it was a community of maybe 20,000 people. But nowadays, and Michelle was saying, when you interview a child non-leading, which means you can't push them into saying what you want to hear. You're having to interview this child to get down to the truth and try to get into their memory bank, really.
Yes, sir. And our folks are specially trained. There's a lot of science and studies that goes behind every bit of what we do. And as David indicated, I have just an outstanding team of people that are the boots on the ground and do this work every day. And I'm extremely proud of our team of people. And I couldn't be any more grateful for this prosecuting attorney and his folks. They are really serious about dealing with the crime of child abuse and helping to get justice for these children. And not only that, by initiating this process, helping to take care of that child. They're not only concerned about their part of it, but the back end of it and the health and life of these children. And as you indicated, when I first started, I opened Grandma's House in Boone County 10 years ago. And oftentimes I would hear folks say, well, that's a real sweet thing that you're trying to do here, honey, but do we really need it? And absolutely. Grandma's House covers a 7-county service area: Boone, Newton, Baxter, Marion, Carroll, Madison, and Searcy County. I think I got them all. And last year we saw 409 children, and that was before, here in Baxter County in this satellite, we're just now starting to get really going good. And so far this year in Baxter County alone, and with the COVID virus going on and things of that nature, we've seen 60 children here out of this facility and 124 altogether at all of our locations.
What type of abuse is there? We know about the sexual abuse, but what about the mental and verbal? How does it say? Let's take a 4-year-old, either male or female. Either one of you, what do you see the damage done, say after maybe 6 to 8 months of abuse?
Absolutely, and oftentimes what we deal with are what are called priority 1 child abuse cases, and David can kind of tell you more about that than I can. But oftentimes all of those types of abuse can go into, you don't necessarily see a child for one single component. There may be a lot of different aspects involved. And that's part of why we do what we do. One incident alone can affect a child's life for their entire life.
Yeah.
And, what we want to do is make the response to that occurrence as quickly as possible and help them to get the help that they need, so this event doesn't be, we can't change the fact that something has happened by the time we know about it. So, if we can get in on the front end to help that child to get the healing and help that they need, hopefully it doesn't become something that becomes who they are, but something that happened to them that they can heal from and carry on and be a successful adult.
Because there's got to be the mental scars that really have to. And they may not surface in a 4-year-old, somebody that's 4-year-olds now that could be, later on down the road by the time they're 15, 20, 25 years old.
What you see, and Michelle hears this from me way too often, is you'll see this child who has been abused in ways that normal people don't think happen, but they do happen. They've been violated, they've been harmed, and it's physical, it is emotional. Because there's a lot of components to that, but you see that child, and is there folks who do such a great job trying to help this child get better. Yet we still have to use that information to prosecute that individual. But at the end of the day, you want that child to become a little girl again, the best that she possibly can be, or to become a little boy again and be like they're supposed to be and feel safe, because it does impact them. From then on, can I trust the adult, the person I'm supposed to trust who's now done this to me? And we see it across every spectrum. It's not about economics. It's not about one parent, two parents. Do those have impacts? Absolutely. But it's across the board in our communities. And what Michelle's people do is phenomenal to make that better.
How do you yourself, when you see how do you keep your own sanity?
Well, there's a lot of things in the network that we're in to help to support those folks, because it's very difficult day in, day out, sitting toe to toe, hearing the most horrific stories to the most precious people, and so there's a lot. We try to support and encourage our staff, offer mental health services and things of that nature, and a lot to do with the team of people that we work with. There's not any other group of people that can understand what you're doing and what you're saying every day than your team of people. And we have a fantastic group of people who deal with child abuse cases in this area, and everyone really steps up to the plate to take care of the children and to help take care of their team.
So, there's got to be, I'm sitting here envisioning the child, and I'm still trying to process in my mind, how do they hide or try to forget and they don't want to talk about stuff? How do you get a child to open up? You want to interview somebody, you don't lead them, but yet you need to get to the truth. And it's basically like getting the confession from the child, so you can call David and say, this is what the child has said. You don't want to lead them, but yet they're wanting to try to forget, but now you're trying to make them remember. How do you get them to do this without feeling bad or being scared and reliving the trauma.
Well, that is a part of, like I had indicated earlier, there's a lot of science and studies that go behind it, and much to do with just having a fantastic group of people too. There's a lot of studies and things that have gone into putting this child advocacy model together. It wasn't something that I created. And so, we have our different folks that establish that and do all that research, and we're very, very trained in doing what we do. But everything from the outside of the building inside is geared to help that child to feel safe and comfortable when they're coming through our doors. They are met with trained people who are kind and caring, and we start from the very beginning helping to break down some of those barriers, to the best of our abilities. We want to provide that child the opportunity to talk about what may or may not have happened to them. And so we will greet them at the door, help walk them through that process, and oftentimes even for families, just letting them know, that they don't necessarily know what's going on, but we're going to help them to understand and help walk with them through this process, and as long as it takes or until they're ready for us not to be a part of their lives anymore. And so there's just a lot of care and a lot of training and things that go into helping them to overcome those blocks.
Take some special people. Need to take a break. I think it's coming up on 7:32. Scooter, ready for that break?
You bet.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Benny with Ammo Dump.
At Ammo Dump, they carry new and used firearms, large supply of shotguns, rifles, and handguns. Ammo Dump will buy, sell, or trade in your item and can special order whatever you like. They also have knives, scopes, ammo of any caliber, and provide gun cleaning and restoration. Call them today for the best competitive pricing around.
If I don't have it or can't get it because they don't make it, come and see us.
That's Ammo Dump, located next to Woodman's Package in Norfolk.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment, their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
It takes the right gear to survive out here. Oh, there she is, Ferris. It's the best gear around. Strong as an ox. Safe as houses. Out back, there's one powerful beast. Awesome. Four-wheel suspension. Handles whatever Mother Nature throws at you. It's designed to take the hard out of hard work and deliver all the power you could need. So if you want to tackle the great outdoors, get yourself a Ferris.
Get the only mower with suspension technology at Mower Warehouse in Mountain Home, where they accept mower trade-ins, have flexible financing options, and services all brands and models. That's Mower Warehouse, located on Buzzard Roost in Mountain Home.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family. to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations. I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
(7:35). Continue our discussion with Michelle and David Ethredge. David, I want to throw a question out to you. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was sitting with Congressman Rick Crawford, and we were talking about the pornography issue. And we did some studies one time. I don't know the name of the site, but there was one that got hit so many times with views that it'd be like 1,000 people sitting for 3,000 years. I mean, just unbelievable odds. The role of pornography and its accessibility, not only to the child predators, but to the kids. And I suggested to Rick Crawford, because believe it or not, pornography is protected under the freedom of speech. But you can misspell a word and hit a porn site. So why can't it be a mandatory .xxx instead of .com, .edu, or anything else that they pop up in there, to where it has to be manually put in? Wouldn't that trigger would it stop a lot of accidental triggers if they could do that?
Yes and no. The problem is the way search engines are designed today, it doesn't do it the same way that it used to.
Really?
You know, but there are some safeguards to be built in there. We need to understand how powerful that industry is and the tools that they have. I don't know this, but I suspect if you check, probably the biggest number of hits of anything on the internet are pornography. I would be surprised if I'm not correct by that. It has an impact. You know, people have access to it. They didn't have access before. Children have access to it. Whether apparent means for that to happen or it's by accident, we see that all the time. But there are also predators out there who are preying on these children, who are trying to get them to do things, and we see a tremendous amount of that.
Well, no, what about the cell phone usage and, say, the younger teen girls? And Michelle might relate to this. Let's say you have a 8 years old to say 14. They see the magazines at the checkout, or they may see a Victoria's Secret catalog. Oh, I want to be as pretty as her, and it's a wannabe situation. Do you see that situation in the young girls?
I think more so the problem that we have right now is like David indicated, the accessibility to our children. You know, and just the access. I mean, you have strangers being able to come into your home, you know, while you're in the next room, when you have the cell phone and the computer stuff going on. And then you have a child that, you know, may get into a situation with a manipulative grown adult who preys on children, and, you know, may end up, you know, getting them into a situation they don't know how to get out of. So, you know, I would think that would, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, you know, there's girls out there, I'm gonna say 9 to 14 years old. I'm not pretty, nobody's gonna love me. And they see the pictures in the books at the checkout at the stores and stuff like that. And I want to be like her, and I call them the Taylor Swift wannabes. You know, we talked with somebody. I think me and Scooter had it back in the days over at Mountain Talk Radio, that Branson was a hot spot because of girls that run away. They grab their clothes, grab their guitar. They may be 18, 19 years old. They run into a guy who's 23, 25. I can make you as big as Taylor Swift. You know, it's the trust / lack of love.
I think that's what occurs in the home. You know, on the computer system. You know, and again, these people that do this and harm children in this way are predators. And they know what they're doing, and they will seek out and they know how to find these opportunities to harm these children.
David, you look at just not even just talking about the pornography side, but parents look at a lot of these social media apps and different things. It's just a way that they communicate with their friends, and they, you know, do their social stuff. But you don't know who's actually they're talking to. You don't know who's on that other end, and that person can play whoever they want to play. They can be whoever they want to be on that internet and that social media page, and your child truly doesn't
absolutely
know.
Really, oh, absolutely. We see it frequently. That and again, we're using young girls because that's what we see probably still the most. But boys are affected by this. I don't want anybody to believe it's not. But young girls are attacked a lot of times through the internet by people who are not their 13-year-old friend. They're the 38-year-old guy who has some really inappropriate motives for that girl. And we're not talking about someone, although it does happen where they're away from here. There are people in our communities who are doing that. We know that based on who we're arresting and prosecuting, that there are people in our communities who are doing those same things. And when you see that we've prosecuted somebody for child pornography, that's exactly one of the things we're looking at. And of course, there's a lot of good tools for that today to help us, but it's out there. And young children fall prey to that, and then they're victimized in so many ways, whether it be emotionally or sexually.
During the break, before I brought up the issue on the pornography, you were talking about what Michelle has here in Baxter County. You're talking very highly of the technical part, the electronic part.
Yes, and I'll let Michelle tell you about that some more. But these grandma, these are physical houses, facilities.
Here in
there's one here in Baxter County. There's one over in Harrison. There's one in Carroll County.
Yes, sir.
And they're all set up to allow a child to be brought in there with the family or whoever, law enforcement or counselors or therapists, and to make that child feel comfortable, to let that child start getting the help they need to get, and to also to be interviewed in this forensic style that's appropriate. And they can actually have examinations there, and they're designed for that.
Physical examination?
Through a
Is that
nurse.
right?
Yes. And to do that correctly for that child, we need to be able to, that child needs to be interviewed, and that interview needs to be looked at and examined because we need to have that available to us, and the electronics are set to make that happen. And Michelle has done some wonderful things to make that happen here in Mountain Home, and it makes a difference because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that child gets well. Part of getting that child well is we can remove that person who harmed that child from the system. And in my world, that means I prosecute that person and put that person in prison, or to make sure that person may have to register as a sex offender for a long period of time. And all that are tools we use to make that happen. And what Michelle's people do is so critical to that.
Wow. I don't even know what to ask at this point. I'm more like, a lot of this stuff is, to me, it's nauseating. When I was thinking about the show prep this morning, I thought, it just, I get this sick feeling in my stomach when I talk about this. But
well, the good part of that is that we get to help these children. I mean, when they come in, I mean, you're dealing with a wonderful, beautiful child, and we get to be a part of helping to make their lives better, and hopefully to be able to help them find some hope and healing. And as David indicated, we are so fortunate to be able to have this new satellite in Baxter County, and it really is, it's unfolding now. I mean, it takes a good year or two for these facilities. We are a 501c nonprofit, and so we don't just have everything we need all at once. Mm-hmm. No one's handing it to us, and so just watching this process and building this beautiful home and being able to see it unfold and to be able to provide this service in the community is just a tremendous thing. Our children deserve, our rural children deserve every bit as much as care and attention as some children that are in larger communities. So that's our primary focus right now. So we're just fortunate to be able to do it and to be able to help.
Now in Arkansas, is it more prevalent in more populated areas or more rural? Or does it matter? It's
across the board, and oftentimes, as you had indicated earlier, we live in a wonderful community, but I grew up around this area, and I tell you, I would be more likely to leave my purse unlocked in my car than not know what my children are doing or where they're going. The national statistic is 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by the time they're 18 years old. And that's not any different here than it is anywhere else. And, and although, this existed previously in other years, oftentimes we hear stories from parents that we encounter, either out in the community or because they're bringing their children in. And sometimes we may be the first person that they've told, and I think, as David indicated, we do have more access, to the children have more access to things and more exposure to things that might harm them. But this was occurring. This has always been occurring. And one of the things that we can do to help fight it and prevent it is doing things like this, having these uncomfortable conversations and addressing the fact that, yes, it is happening. And let's give people the power to be able to talk about it and feeling in that they can get help themselves.
David, thoughts on that?
Michelle's right. I think that we are blessed. We live in a great area. I'm fortunate to prosecute across all 4 of those counties, and there's great people in them. We need to understand there's some bad people in them too, and we need to be able to help those children who've been harmed. And communities need to be willing to step up, and these communities are. That's one reason we have this facility now in Baxter County. This reason the facility in Boone County is so wonderful is because communities have stepped up, and law enforcement appreciates it. I think sometimes we don't understand what they go through in doing this, but for them to be able to, Baxter County has got a great sheriff's office. Mountain Home PD is wonderful, and they're excited to have them here too, because it helps them to be able to move forward against those kind of people. And I'll say the same thing with Boone County and with the Harrison Police Department. They're the same way, and we work with those officers all the time, and we see it. Arkansas State Police, we probably drive them crazy at times, but they're a phenomenal resource to work with in these cases. But it takes a team effort, and that's one of the things I want Michelle to be able to speak to, is what they do is this multidisciplinary team that you oversee.
Absolutely, and one thing that David is not going to say is that we would not be able to have this facility in Baxter County if it was not for him. If it wasn't for his support and his willingness to be a part of this team. The prosecutor is instrumental in being able to have one of these facilities in a community. So, without his backing, this was never going to occur. We do work with, we indicated before, we work with a fantastic group of people that's not only CACs but prosecutor, but all of those different agencies that we had talked about before. And part of my role, I do serve as a multiple disciplinary team for child abuse cases in 5 counties. We have another fantastic, we call him MDT coordinator for Baxter and Marion County. So between the 2 of us, we cover our CAC's entire area. And what we do every 28 days, we sit down with that team of people. Everybody has a different piece of the puzzle. So we sit down together and talk about what is going on with each person's case, their role in it, and help to fill the gaps so that these children don't fall between the cracks, and we can help get them the services that they need.
One more break. We'll be right back.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
At MSI, they're not just another trash service. They're your friendly, family-owned and operated trash service, providing residential, commercial, and roll-off pickup. MSI offers competitive rates and services 5 counties in the north-central Arkansas area. Various dumpster sizes available for commercial and accommodating you with weekly pickup for your convenience. Call Tammy or Kathy today at MSI. MSI Trash Service, small enough to know you and large enough to service you.
Take a step back in time when going to a barbershop meant more than just getting a haircut. Come into Legionnaire Barbershop today, a unique gentleman's barbershop. Get back in style with 2 experienced licensed barbers who are trained in tonsorial arts and lock removal and are happy to give you a straight razor shave. Legionnaire Barbershop is veteran-owned and operated and located at 1041 Highland Circle, Suite 55 in Mountain Home. For a full, old-fashioned barbershop experience, stop by Legionnaire Barbershop today.
At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we're here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we have installed a convenient drive-through window for all your to-go and pickup orders. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and ask us about our daily specials for a low price to feed the whole family. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. When you need durable and comfortable hospital scrubs stat, you need the Uniform Shop. The Uniform Shop is the place for top quality uniforms, carrying a great selection of name brands, including Carhartt, Vera Bradley, Urbane, and Grey's Anatomy, as well as shoes from Skechers, Nursemates, Softwalk, and Landau, stethoscopes from Littman, blood pressure cuffs, scissors, name tag retractables, compression socks, paramedic VDUs, and Rocky boots. The Uniform Shop also offers customizing, embroidery, and minor alterations. Let us put you in uniforms. Shop the Uniform Shop.
Almost 7:52, finishing up with Michelle of Grandma's House and David Ethredge, the prosecuting attorney for 14th Judicial District. David, we've got a lot of churches have good youth groups, especially Eastside. Eric and Scott Spear and Frankie, everybody doing a good job there. Let's say you got a young teenager, 13, 14 years old, and they sit down perhaps with Frankie or Scott or Eric, and they say, well, this is what's going on. Can you refer them to Grandma's? Is there anything?
Absolutely. And I encourage people, if they think that's going on, to make that, to call them. Grandma's House has a phone number. You can call them. Call my office. I have victim witness coordinators who are aggressive at the very least about protecting children, which we want them to be. And because of that, we'll be glad to refer them. And it's a great resource. And it's not something that anyone has to know about until if there are certain things happen, we're going to address it. But we're willing to help, and they want to help.
So even a director, youth pastor,
absolutely
can be.
And oftentimes people don't know what to do. What is the first step? And what we would do. There always has to be a call to either the Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline, or we can accept a case that is brought to us from the local law enforcement. At Grandma's House, we don't have any authority, we don't have any say-so. We're going to do our very same job no matter what these other folks do. We're just, our role is to help take care of the child and their family. So if we did get a call and someone knew of a child being abused, we're going to help support that person and help them to be able to get to make that child abuse call to the hotline, or to get that child's that information about what's going on to that child to the local law enforcement, and from there, once it either gets to the law enforcement or to the child abuse hotline, it's going to be assigned to an investigative agency depending on what the criteria is, and they're going to make the call and set up services with us. We're not going to do anything and can't do anything without someone of authority being able to authorize it.
What about okay, back up, try to figure out the way to ask this. Let's say that the perpetrator knows that the child has said something. How do we, in the time that it goes from, say, let's say that the child talks to Eric at the church and he calls the prop, say he calls you, David, you call Michelle, blah, blah, blah. Could that child be in danger of being murdered?
Unfortunately, yes, but if the situation was right, that child could be removed from that situation to protect them. And we do, there are steps that can be taken for that to happen, to make sure we isolate the perpetrator from that child. and that may be through the actions of DHS. It may be through actions of law enforcement. If the facts would warrant it, that law enforcement would have the ability to go remove the defendant, in my world, from that situation until we can make sure our safety plan is put in place so that child is not harmed. Because it's one of the fears we have. It's one of the reasons that one of the things Michelle was talking about is these MDT meetings is they meet regularly to make sure that's not going to continue to go on. We don't want this to ever fall through the cracks. It's too important.
There's not a lot of delay either. Once there is an outcry, and that's where those investigative agencies come into play, because before they come to Grandma's house, and again, we have a fantastic group of people that deal with this stuff, including David's victim witness coordinators are phenomenal. But when there's an outcry, it's very quick. I mean, we're not talking a delayed amount of time before this process gets engaged. And those investigative agencies are making sure that that child is safe, and that's the very first thing that happens. And then we begin the process of trying to help support and get that information. But that is the very first thing that happens, is that child is made to be safe.
I couldn't imagine that it'd be a serious situation, and let's say they go to the church and talk to church, and they end up calling the sheriff's department or whatever they call over there. They're not going to just take that kid back home. They're going to go into their steps to make sure that the child's safe, but they're taking the steps to move forward to investigate and stuff like that.
Well, and there's a lot of different ways. I mean, I know, the first thing that we think of is in-home abuse and things of that nature, but there's a lot of different ways. I have daughters myself, and how I explain it, is if my child went to someone else's home, and they came back to me, and I had nothing to do with what may have occurred, that supportive system is going to help support me to be able to take care of my child. So there's a lot of different dynamics that occur. It's not, it can be in home, it can be, out of home, it could be, at school, or any number of places that children go. So there's a lot of different ways that abuse can occur.
Got about 3 minutes before the show ends. David, some final thoughts between you and Michelle?
Well, number one, I encourage people, if they see something happening, to let the proper people know. There are good guys out there. Michelle's people are the good guys. We want them to know that. We want to protect people, and I encourage parents to do the things to protect their children. And as bad as these things are, we also want people to know is there are solutions. There are solutions going to help heal that child, that are going to help protect that child, and there's solutions going to help us prosecute the bad people who are doing these things. And again, I can't say how the prosecutor's office could not prosecute these cases without Michelle's people. We're very, very grateful.
Can you say you're a 501c3?
Yes, sir.
So that's people can make
absolutely
a donation to help that. How do we get that to you?
There's a lot of different ways. We do have a website. It's www.grandmashousecac.com. We also, and on that website is our address, and every little bit helps. It truly does take a village, and that's kind of what we put together. We have a village of people, and that involves community members. So there's a lot of different things and talents that people have, quilt making, really? Hygiene products, snacks and juices, $10 gas cards. Every little bit goes a long way. So we appreciate the help.
And the website again was Grandma's House what?
CAC.com.
C.com. Okay. People may contact me after the show, and we can get that information to them. Scooter, you work a lot with kids. I mean, this has to hit home to you too, knowing.
It does, because even on my side of it, you hear stories and things that go on, and sometimes you may have been coaching with these kids for a long time before you realize what actually is going on with them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just see a difference in their attitude, and then you got to kind of talk to them a little bit about it. It's just, you never know. I know I can tell you this real quick on the training of the sports side. A big part of it is addressing and identifying when things like this are going on.
Absolutely.
Oh, tough show. So we run out of time. Thanks for being here, Michelle and David, and for Scooter for helping out. So we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.